is Becca Walkinshaw, and my story, which first I want to thank everyone for speaking tonight. It's been so powerful. You know, the only thing, if I could change anything about tonight, is that this room would be packed, right? Because these stories are so powerful, they're so meaningful, and it's our stories that we share that change lives, right? It's when we're able to share and stand in our power that we're really able to make a better world. So my story is that I thought I was boring AF. And really, I thought I was boring as fuck. And I thought I was boring alcohol-free. And this was something that I would dance with for 25 years of my life. Because I didn't get to choose what I was born into, but what I was born into was trauma. I had intense trauma the first 10 years of my life. And my response to that trauma was to drink alcohol. So the world saw me as high energy, really fun, exciting, successful Becca. That was my outer world. But when I was by myself, I didn't like myself. When I was by myself, I was never enough. I thought I was extremely boring. I thought I was extremely unattractive. So I drank for short-term gain that resulted in long-term pain. I carried bullshit beliefs with me in my mind for so many years. Some of the beliefs were, Becca, you're too serious, you're too intense, you're too empathetic, and you're not feminine enough. You're not likable, you're not pretty, you are not executive enough. You're too sensitive. I consistently thought, when I was alone with my own thoughts, that I was not enough. I was never enough. I drank alcohol for my first time when I was 14, and I got really, really sick. It was actually a horrible story that I talked about in my senior year in the yearbook as my most memorable night. And I don't even remember it, right? So at 14 years old, I started drinking, and I would drink until I was 39 years old. I would dance in problematic drinking, shame, depression, and perfectionism. See, it really wasn't about the drinking. It was that I didn't believe I was enough. I drank to feel accepted. I drank to feel like I was fun. I drank to be loved. I drank to feel comfortable in my own skin. I drank to feel comfortable with my husband, who is here tonight, by the way, thank you for being here. And I drank to feel comfortable in my own home. For many, many years, I believed I was having fun and living my best life. I was rocking it, woo! Right? But then something happened right around the time that I turned 30. I no longer believed that. I no longer believed that alcohol was fun, but I kept drinking. I started to ask questions about why am I drinking and who am I? See, because in my head, who I wanted to be in my head is that I was up early in the morning dancing and drinking coffee and having coffee dates, but instead I was drinking wine at night and I was sleeping in because I was hungover. In my head, I loved getting up reading, writing, and running, but that didn't happen because I was hungover. In my head, I wanted to be successful, I wanted to be powerful, I wanted to change lives. But all of that was stunted because my emotions were volatile from drinking a lot. I would say, I am not going to drink anymore. I've got 10 years of my journal saying that. I am done. I am not going to drink anymore. And then I couldn't wait to get home to have a drink to wash away the day. Or to celebrate the day, right? Really anything. I could have a drink. It was my best friend. But here's what my truth was. I started drinking at 14. And so I didn't even know who I was without alcohol. I had no idea, who am I if I don't drink alcohol? So here's what happened. What I wanted in life and how my life actually was, they didn't match. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. So that caused friction, right? My life caused friction. What happens when your beliefs don't match your reality? Depression, right? Anxiety, anger, frustration. Yes. So I thought that I was actually expressing my best self, being so authentic, fun Becca, right? When I was drinking. Yet what I was actually doing is I was numbing who I really was. It was liquid courage. I was killing my brain and my liver, and I was blaming everyone else for my problems. Right? I blamed my boss. I blamed my job. I blamed my husband. I blamed my kids. I blamed my finances. I blamed my friends. I blamed my past. Because I wasn't being real or honest with me. And when I would be honest with me, guess what? I treated me so shitty. I was mean to me. The story in my head was awful. And finally, one day, that friction, that pain, became too much. Life got real. You know the kind of real where you don't want to live anymore real? That's how real my life got. There I was, 37, brand new house, nice car, beautiful husband, successful career, and I hated my life. I had a huge breakdown. I was on the brink of divorce, thinking about self-harm, and I was in major, major depression. But you know what, my friends? The breakdown is the breakthrough. This pain was so deep that I didn't want to feel it anymore. I was done. I didn't want to feel it anymore. So what it did is it caused me to finally listen to my inner self, to my inner hero of what I really wanted for life. So I did what all the successful business people did. I hired a coach, right? All the successful people that I knew, they had high-level executive coaches in their life, and so that is what I did. I had been to therapy. I had been on medication. I had done all this stuff, and I was still stuck. I wasn't living my best life on the inside. Maybe on the outside it looked good, but not on the inside. And I hired that mindset coach, and I am so fucking glad I did. Because 1 month after hiring my mindset coach, my cousin Brad, I got the call at work. Brad's dead. What? Brad killed himself. What? Brad, my cousin, just a few years older than me, it was a blizzard in February. We were at Leadership Northern Colorado together. It was a blizzard in February, and he walked from his house, freezing 0-degree weather, and he walked to the bridge on the Missouri River, and he jumped in. They wouldn't find his body for over 6 weeks. They found it miles down the river in a cornfield. He had washed up. Right? So, through Brad's death and through hiring a coach, I got my life back. I was done. I did not want to be another statistic. If you look around at my family, it is depression, it is alcoholism, it is sadness, it's anxiety. That was all around me in my family, and I was done. I was going to be the change in my chain. It would be 18 months before I truly lived alcohol-free. And alcohol-free is not sober. It's that I am free from alcohol. Alcohol no longer rules my life. I don't need to have a drink to feel like I'm enough. My coach helped me to see what my biggest addiction was. My biggest addiction was my addiction to my pain. My biggest addiction was my addiction to my story, my pain story. See, what all of this comes down to is emotional mastery, right? Your life is a result of how you can manage your emotions. So I'll show you how. So I wanted to leave you with a really quick exercise and just a really easy way on how to manage your emotions. So the coach I hired, I went through Tony Robbins' result coaching. I randomly found him on a TED Talk or something, loved the guy, hired him, and now I'm trained to do what they did for my life, right? Because it made such an impact because nothing worked. So the triad. What this is all about, it's about changing your identity. The easiest way to change how you feel, your state, your emotions, your emotional mastery, is to change your physiology. It's to move your body. It's to change how you hold yourself. So, one way I can change my physiology is by drinking a beer, right? And having a depressant and killing my liver and killing my brain. Or I can go for a run, right? I can stand tall, I can breathe, I can do yoga. So through coaching, I switched from a life of immobility, kind of sitting around, maybe I'd ride my bike around a little bit, but to being active and trying all sorts of new things. That's physiology. The next thing is your focus. Did you know what you focus on, you feel? It's true, right? So what did I focus on? My pain story. I focused on everything that was wrong, right? I was addicted to my pain story, to my past, to all the trauma, because you know why? It brought me attention, right? It brought me connection. It made me significant. I had the shittiest life, people, right? I deserve to be depressed. And what I did is my coach helped me to shift to believe in a future that I had never seen. A future that I'd never had anyone in my family have, right? I started to believe in something that wasn't even there instead of looking in the rearview mirror and always focusing on all the shit that had happened in my past. I started asking better questions, right? I started focusing and asking questions. Not why does my life suck, but what can I do to feel better? What did I learn from this, right? I rewrote my story. Instead of saying everything that was bad, it was like, what did I learn from this? How can I help someone from what I have learned and what I've been through? What does it mean to live an alcohol-free life I love? I had no idea before I started coaching. I had never asked myself these easy questions. Finally, we want to always focus on language. So, if you'll say this with me, say, I want to quit drinking.
I want to quit drinking.
Yeah, right? Okay. Now say, I want to design an alcohol-free life I love. That's a big one, I know. I want to design an alcohol-free life I love. Right? Do you feel that difference? Do you feel that difference? That is how powerful language is. The story you tell yourself, the language, the words that you use affect how you feel on the inside. So I changed my language. And what all of this did is it changed my state. And I started focusing on a vision that I'd never had before, an alcohol-free life that I love. I started asking new questions. I started moving my body. my daughter's like, Mom, why are you so happy? I don't know, I don't even drink anymore. I don't know, right? It's the coaching. So, all of my coaching and what my whole journey has been about is truly designing an alcohol-free life I love is about creating a whole new identity. I've really become a whole new person throughout this. And what it's been about is using those same emotions that held me down, those same emotions that kept me stuck. I learned how to slightly shift them, because shift happens, right? Slightly shift them and use them to empower me. Use them to fuel me. I got really excited about my future. So through coaching, I have been able to learn to manage my state consistently, at a consistent level. I would love to tell you I was perfect, right, and everything's great. That's not true, right? Dark days come. My husband and I were just talking about it last night, right? Darkness comes in. But it's like, how quickly can you pivot back? It's a muscle. Your emotions are a muscle that you have to teach yourself to learn. They're a powerful muscle. And here's the most amazing thing. I am free because I am now alcohol-free, but you know who else is? My kids, my husband, my community, my work, right? How I show up as an employee. Now I'm a coach and I'm helping other people do the same thing because it is true freedom. And at a very basic level, this journey has been about rediscovering who I am, what I love, and how to stand in my authentic power every single day, even when it is hard. I am beyond grateful for my life. It's so different than the life that I used to have, and really any life that I've ever known. If you were to tell me a couple years ago this is what I'd be doing, I wouldn't believe you, right? But it's beyond fulfilling, and it's so much better now that I'm alcohol-free, because it's about my choice. I choose my life. I'm so grateful. I'm excited as fuck. I'm excited alcohol-free.